Deze podcast is powered by ACC ICT, de nummer 1 Kubernetes specialist van Nederland.
Welkom bij een nieuwe aflevering van de Nederlandse Kubernetes Podcast. De podcast over Kubernetes voor iedereen. Ik ben Ronald and Jan en ik zit wederom met...
Jan Stomphorst, Solution Architect ACC ICT.
Ja, ACC ICT, niet vergeten Jan.
Ja.
Anders worden er weer mensen boos.
Zo. Nee, dat is onze favoriete sponsor, hè?
Jazeker. Ja, dus JSpring.
JSpring. Wij zijn ergens anders. Hebben dus ook iets andere content, wat ook heel erg leuk is. Het gaat over Java.
Het gaat over Java. En nou ben jij fan van Java.
En toevallig, als deze uitkomt, dan is het al een hele tijd geleden. Maar is nu online de aflevering over Java met garbage collection en heap sizes.
Heap sizes. En altijd als we het over Java hebben, stel jij de vraag over heap sizes. Dus...
Nee, dus...
Shall I switch to English and introduce our very special guest we found here on the show floor?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. So, now it comes to the pronunciation part. Soroosh Khodami.
Yes, true.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, welcome. And can you please introduce yourself to the listeners?
Yes, sure. So, as you'll say, I'm Soroosh. I'm a solution architect at a company called Code Nomads. But I'm currently helping the Rabobank as a solution architect.
Okay. And how did you get started in the IT? What's your background?
So I started almost 10, 15 years ago as a backend developer. But yeah, due to a lot of reasons, I also did a lot of front end, some Linux system administration stuff. So I'm mainly a generalist, and it's almost 6-7 years that I'm working as a solution architect. Yeah.
Okay. And solutions architect, what is your definition and what do you do as solutions architect? Because everybody has his own definition of that.
Yeah, that's the solution architect.
Yeah.
That's a really good question. So, as I said, I have a diverse background, backend, front-end, system administrator. Also, some part of in my career, I also played a little bit as a product owner, interim product owner. So I kind of know a little bit from different aspects. And then I kind of became a generalist. And now I can play a bridge role between those different aspects. That I'm working with developers, I'm working with product owners, I'm working with the front-end developers, back-end, everybody. So I can translate the requirements into the language that is understandable by those roles, by developers, by product owners. That's what I would call the solution architect.
Like a Swiss Army knife.
Not really Swiss Army knife, but I'm trying to help, right?
Okay.
To put the hands of the product owner, the business, I don't want to say but the business to the hands of developer, and try to come up with some, ideas to help the business and also helping the developers.
Yeah. Okay. And you have a talk here at JSpring. Are we ready for the next cybersecurity crisis like a Log4Shell? Can you take us with you what you talked about?
Yes, I will tell you. So currently, my current assignment at Rabobank is in a department that we are actually dealing with a lot of security-related things. And when I started as a solution architect, I supposed to do some analysis and understand that, okay, how secure is the bank? Are we in a good shape or not? And one of the topics that really caught my attention was supply chain security. So for the Java developers, Log4Shell and Log4j is a known thing because we all had these struggles when that incident happened. Mm-hmm. It was like a global issue for most of the applications before Christmas, so everybody remembers it. But there was a reasons, right? And that reasons actually started a new trend of, attacks from the hackers. Also, some other things like SolarWinds that I think you guys also remember. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Those type of things that are kind of related to the supply chain and the dependencies started a new hype, a new trend of the attacks to the software systems. So I started to know them. I did a lot of investigation, a lot of research. So I'm not a security expert. I was a developer, architect now. And I tried to deep dive into it and understand it. And then the learnings that I had in the past few years, I started sharing it with the people that, okay, what if another Log4Shell happens? Are we ready to protect our software, our company, our business, or not? I already gave the answer to everybody. That's definitely not. We're not prepared.
Right. And do you remember where you were where Log4Shell happened?
Yes.
Everybody has like the core memories somewhere.
Yes. So it was like early days that I was in the Netherlands. I used to work at Bol at that time. Well, at that time I was not architect, I was a developer. But luckily, Bol.com, they had a good setup for managing the dependencies. So for them, it took almost 1 or 2 days to fix this vulnerability.
Okay.
But I know a lot of other companies in the world, also Netherlands, that they couldn't fix it in 2 days. It took like 9 months, 10 months. Some of them are still struggling with this. Yeah.
Oh, that's intense. Yeah.
Do you know how Log4j got discovered?
Yes. So it was on a Minecraft server.
Yeah.
And I'm a gamer. And when I heard it, I said, what? A security issue on a game server, Minecraft? Oh, okay. I knew that the Minecraft is written in Java. The server was also in Java. I also hosted Minecraft server long ago. So we're playing with friends. But I was like, okay, so what's the relation of the bug in the Minecraft server with the applications that we have? And then I heard, it's about Log4j. And well, we all have Log4j in our applications. But it was just one example. And I actually presented in my talk that it's happening every month. A few weeks ago, you guys know about the ingress hell. Mm-hmm. It happened again. Also, a few weeks later, for the Nginx. Last year, we had XZ backdoor, right? So those type of attacks and those issues are happening every week, every month, and they're making big headlines. So the risk is there.
Yeah, it's not always Windows that does.
Not this time.
Not this time, yeah.
Yeah, I'm keeping my mouth shut. But the biggest thing for in Log4j is that the application was developed by 1 or 2 developers, and then that developer left it on the internet for everybody to pick up, and or just did not do any updates on that because it was an hobby project or something he did in between, and during the time everybody was using that library. But Log4j is not the only one. I think if you now do an npm install, you install like 50
half
libraries.
of the internet. You just run npm install and you download half of the internet with one command.
And there are a lot of libraries that are maintained by open source people or
True.
people that doing that in their spare time or do not doing that.
Yep.
How do you mitigate that? Because that's the real issue.
Yeah, that's you're absolutely right. I also did investigation that you just create a Hello World project with Node.js, just add Express as only one dependency, only Express to just building the first API, and the number of the dependencies that you have is 65, and all those small dependencies are being developed by probably a developer somewhere in the world who is working for free, and so the attack vector is really broad and the risk is high. But the question that you had is, okay, how we can mitigate it? Mm-hmm. Well, let's say the simple answer is we cannot fix it. We cannot prevent it because we are relying on some other libraries, and those libraries are also relying on other libraries. So there are some human factors in between, and we cannot make sure that everything is good. But there are some recommendations, some best practices that if we try to, apply them in our software development life cycle, SDLC, it's like a word in this domain, that it can help us to minimize the risk. So we cannot fully protect it, but there are a lot of mitigations. So I don't know. I actually have like 15 recommendations I already shared in my talk. But
name a few.
I will name a few. First of all, so you need to know your product. Yeah. So the things that you're using. So one of the key things that I really recommend everybody, and I think in few weeks or months or in all the companies it will become somehow mandatory because there are some regulations on it, is you need to have a software bill of material called SBOM for your application. And you need to keep it for some time, I think few years. And it's part of a regulation called CRA, Cyber Resilience Act. For the financial institution, it's already mandatory as part of DORA regulation. Mm-hmm. But for the rest of the big applications and big companies, CRA is enforcing this. So by having SBOM, we are like really good. So if we say from 0 to 100, by having SBOM for our application, we're on the 19. So it's really good. There are some other techniques that we can apply and just increase the score higher. So, for example, try to use as less dependencies as possible. For example, we import a lot of dependencies to our applications. If we just delete or remove the ones that are unused, that's the point. I actually showed a demo that you don't need to actually use that dependency. Just import it in your project, and the hacker can run code on your machine.
Oh yeah.
Yes. I actually showed a reverse shell in my demo. So I added a dependency to the Java application, and the hacker actually had a reverse shell access without using it. I didn't import it in my project. I just added it into POM XML. I could do it in the PyPy and also with pip and also with the NPM. So just making sure the things that we have in our package JSON or POM XML is the things that we actually want is important.
Yeah.
And maybe the third one that I personally really like is having it's kind of same with the SBOM, because the output of this thing is SBOM, is having the SCA or dependency scanning. So before we go to production, we just scan our project to just list down the dependency and see if there is any known vulnerability for those dependencies. That's already good. And also some of those tools, the dependency scanners, do some integrity check that, hey, you are adding JSON to your project as a library or Express to your project. But the hash that we see here is not a known hash. It's not a hash that is available on npm.js, for example, or not in the Maven Central. It will raise the alarm. So at least you know that, okay, something is wrong here. So I think this dependency scanning and having the SBOM is really good.
Okay. But I reckon you also got some like Kubernetes security related.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, this is something that I'm currently working on it. So I think you guys are familiar with the cosign and notary. Mm-hmm. So I'm just giving you an idea that you are deploying images on the Kubernetes. Yeah. So the pods are the source of the pods are some images. How you ensure that the image that is written there and you're pulling it with Kubernetes is the one that you expected to get? So one of the answers is signing the artifacts, right? Yeah. Which was a bit cumbersome. I think with the new version of the notary, it's a bit easier and a little bit desirable, I think. So what if you can combine the dependency scanning and signing the artifact together? So before you go to production, I want to scan your image before you go to production. And when I'm scanning it, I will sign it for you. And then if you have a signed image, it means it's already scanned. And then you can enforce the signed images in the production on the Kubernetes cluster. Then you have a good level of, understanding that, okay, whatever is in the production, at least they passed through the scans. And when I have the scans, I have the SBOMs. So I can do the continuous monitoring. So you're sure all the applications that you have in the production, you have the insight. No one can replace an image or, change the images that is in the production without, signing it. And you're the only source of signing it. So this is something that I'm currently working on it. Yeah.
Kost het beheer van Kubernetes je veel tijd en expertise? Maak kennis met ACC ICT. Zij ontzorgen je volledig met managed Kubernetes diensten op elke cloud. Gecertificeerde specialisten zorgen voor compleet beheer, 24/7 support en optimale beveiliging. Jij kunt je focussen op je core business, terwijl je Kubernetes-omgeving in betrouwbare handen is. Manage Kubernetes van ACC ICT. Jouw zorg, onze expertise. Bezoek accict.com.
Ja, ouders. triggered by you said you need SBOMs for your application.
Yeah.
But in the age of AI, can we generate our SBOMs from something with AI?
Maybe. I don't know, honestly. But so there are different aspects, an angle to this. So what we want to get from AI on this, because what is the source that we want to generate SBOM from it? Because we can generate the SBOM based on the source code.
Yeah, of course.
So all the things are there. I know what library I'm using. I know what is the code that I'm using. If I'm using, for example, base image in my Docker container, I know what is already installed. I already have it. So I can just generate it.
But some add-ins use, or some artifacts use our other artifacts or are using other artifacts. So do you get that complete list then?
Yes. So scanners actually are capable to do these recursive things, unless that you have like compiled, for example, artifacts. Like, for example, you do not have access to the original artifact. So you're using, for example, a jar file and it's compiled and obfuscated. It's a bit tricky on this one. Some of the scanners, they have some magics. But usually if you have such a thing in your project, it will be raised as a unfamiliar or a not known component. So it will kind of show it to you that, hey, do you know what is this? If you know, you can register it. Say, okay, this hash, this is known to me. This is maybe an internal component. Maybe this is something from vendor. But usually for the open source libraries, it's easy. You can just discover all of them, all the sub-dependencies.
Okay, cool. So we've got our application, we've got our SBOM, we're signing that application, and we tell our Kubernetes only receive signed containers.
Yes.
So we're secure.
No. So
Of course not.
So there is a famous quote that he said, if you think that technology can solve your security problems, you don't know the technology and you don't know the security. So, well, it's only one pillar. So I'm not sure if you and your audience are familiar with the DevSecOps word or not, but this is a new, let's say, topic that actually looking at this thing, that is it going to be solved only by technology? So technology is only one pillar, but we should also take a look at the knowledge of the people, because we are the ones that executing those things, right? So we need to increase our knowledge. Today, I asked the audience that how many people in the room tried the classic attacks like path traversal or SQL injection. And out of the audience, only 1 or 2% raised their hand. So I actually asked everybody to stop writing code immediately and just take a course. Just try to do some SQL injection in the lab. All were knowledgeable people, all with senior titles. They are writing really good code, but they never had the chance to try path traversal. So when you haven't done it, you don't know how capable it is. So if you really know, you will be a little bit more careful. You will be a little bit more responsible with the code that you write. So education of the people, to me, has even higher priority than the technology. And the third part is the governance. We have, for example, let's imagine that everybody's educated and all the tools are there. So let's say we have SBOMs.
Yeah.
So we can, if we don't do the continuous monitoring on the SBOMs, if we do not take action on the alerts, okay, we're still not safe.
And you say continuous monitoring. So your application is in production already, and there's vulnerabilities coming out, and you've got your SBOM, and so you can see what happens in your application.
Yes, exactly. Because, for example, let's get back to the Log4j. What was the problem with the Log4j? That, wow, the bomb exploded, but you don't know who impacted, which applications, who's the owner of what application. That was the big problem. That takes time from the some big companies, right? So if you have the SBOMs, you know at least you have these dependencies with this version, right? And when you do the continuous monitoring, you can see that, okay, is a new vulnerability has been discovered or not. When you know where to look at the problem, it's way easier to solve. So continuous monitoring would really help to reduce the time to action and time to resolve for such incidents.
Okay, and do you know which tools are you using for that continuous monitoring?
So there are many tools in the market. There are some big names, the commercial ones, but I would love to say a name from open source, from OWASP, Dependency Tracker. It's amazing. Free, you can just use it, and it has a lot of features. It actually is really flexible, customizable, and you can use it for even for the big enterprises.
Dependency tracker. Oh, cool.
Yeah. One of my questions was if you had one security habit that you would fix by people, but that is probably a test of learn how to work with SQL injection and that kind of stuff.
I actually, in the department that I work for some sort of innovation day, I invited everybody that, hey, let's do some courses together. Let's try it out because it's first fun to see, okay, what are the things that you can do with SQL injection. I actually have a scenario that with a simple vulnerability that, expose the SQL injection, you can get access to root cluster of a Kubernetes. Mm-hmm. I actually showed this example in my presentation that the starting point is a SQL injection, but you have, for example, a database, Postgres, old version, running on a container. So Postgres is also a bit outdated. You can run arbitrary command on the machine, and the container image is also vulnerable to something. You can get the root access on the container. And also the Kubernetes server is also a bit, not really old also, maybe version 1.29 that had a privilege escalation.
Yeah.
You can get the root access to
You can see the dominoes falling, right?
Yes. So the SQL injection or path traversal can be the entry point. And after that one, you have the lateral, you can do the lateral movement. And when you're the root in the Kubernetes cluster, you're king in the castle, right?
Yeah.
So maybe the SQL injection in the eyes of the people are like, oh, it's old classic attacks. We have web app firewall, blah, 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 all those things. But you never know.
Yeah, what was that new feature, Jan? Was it like namespaces for containers or?
Yeah, in the new Kubernetes, we solved that you can be root in your container. We created a namespace in the container for the user. So the user runs in the past, if you were root on your container, you were root on the node, and that we solved that. But still, there's
there's some tricky business.
Tricky business.
Yeah.
So I've got 3 rules for my containers. Don't run as root. One process and.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
Do you remember it yourself?
Yeah. So root, one process, and
I forgot. I'm sorry.
yeah, me too. So, yeah, good story.
Good story.
One thing that I see from developers that sometimes they rely on the networking setup of the Kubernetes, and they think, okay, we have a different, I don't know, called namespace, or I don't know, the setup of the networking that you have, that okay, these containers can reach each other, but there are other group of the containers, they cannot see each other. They see that, okay, they're secure because they're isolated network. They heavily rely on this.
Yeah.
But that's not a really good assumption, because with those type of vulnerabilities, if you get elevated access, you can also bypass those rules.
Yeah.
So I actually tried it in a lab, and I was like, okay, I will try to be on the maximum pessimism level, and I will not trust on anything. So
yeah, but it's more like a zero tolerance.
Yes.
Zero trust.
Yes.
Zero trust is a great thing to have in your applications. So, you trust nothing.
You trust nothing.
I don't trust you.
And also in your pipeline, the shift left approach will also help thinking about stuff, right?
A lot. But we know that these phases in the shift left can cover, but they cannot replace each other. So still having the monitoring, having the vulnerability disclosure program, web app firewall, and other firewalls, they are still important, because the attack surface, the most important attack surface is the right side of the, under production.
Right. Okay.
So we're on JFall. So we've got only awesome developers here with writing their own code, but we're still in the age of the AI, and you've got now VOD developers, or there's a name for that. Developers who use AI to build their application.
Well,
It-
Well, that's everybody, right? Everybody tries it.
No,
prompt engineers.
Prompt engineer.
Yeah, I know it's not prompt engineers, but you got a new level of developers that use AI and they know nothing about development. Use AI. To
Vibe coding.
vibe coding.
Wow.
That's the words I was looking for.
Well, I have a lot
You
of
have an opinion, I see.
I have a lot of opinion on this
Strap
one.
in. Let's go.
So some people. So this is what I think, honestly. So I think for a period we could see that the companies start relying on those vibe coders for some time, but later they will start looking for good developers to fix the things that has been created by the people without having the fundamental knowledge.
Yeah.
So that's scary, and also. The good developers nowadays are heavily relying on the answers that they get from the AI. And we know already that AI has a lot of hallucination. AI is trained based on the code that other developers wrote there on the GitHub, on the Stack Overflow, and other projects. And we know already that not all the developers are, good developers or writing the code in a secure way. So Brian, he has a lot of good talks about how AI can go wrong when they are suggesting you the code, or even when you're relying on the AI to do some jobs for you. So the applications that probably you also have heard about them, that applications that have AI bots and you ask AI bot to do something for you, the things can go wrong and AI can do a lot of mistake. The last part that I'm really scared of, and I don't know what's going to happen, is about MCP. So this MCP has opened a lot of doors for the hackers. So I'm not sure if you've heard of MCP, Model Context Protocol. So you just connect your, let's say, functions and interface and APIs to the AI model, and you let the AI to use those functions. So it makes it's really fancy, but it's also really crazy. So if I really don't know what will happen. So
Scary times.
We used to be the CRUD developers. Yeah. And we were introducing a lot of security issues, and now AI is writing code for us, and I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah.
We have to learn AI, the security.
Yeah, well, it's a nice segue to our final question, I think.
Yeah, Ronald.
So, if I would put a crystal ball here on the table, how do you see the future, or how would you like to see the future? And normally it's like Kubernetes related, but you can make it a little bit broader. But I have an idea where this is going, but I'll give you the word.
Yeah, so I already spoiled it a little bit, so I'm a little bit scared. But on the other side, I'm kind of seeing bright future, because now we are in an era that you can dream of something that is not there, but it will be there very soon. So you can start assuming that, okay, whatever, for example, now we have the issue with the AI that, okay, it has mistakes, it's a hallucination. We can just assume that, okay, a year later, 2 years later, that hallucination problem will be gone. And we can start thinking about building good products, applications on top of a reliable AI. So this is what I'm trying to see, that the people that are crazy enough to think about those things, they will be the leaders and pioneers in the market. They can start thinking about it. They have all the blueprints ready. They are just waiting for a new release of a solution that fixes those problems, and then they start building it. So this is how I see it. So I don't know.
I see you thinking.
No, I think it's cool. It's cool. A non-hallucinating AI. I think we have to reinvent AI for that.
Maybe, because it's a fundamental problem, apparently.
Yeah.
But
I'll just prompt in stop hallucinating and get.
But let's be honest. 3 years ago, did we think that we can have an AI bot that solve a lot of problems for us, can help us thinking? I'm giving some of my architecture to the AI to review it for me, and it's a really good partner. It can give me a lot of ideas, and even if it's hallucinating, I'm still okay with it. I'm really happy. I couldn't think of something like that.
Yeah, but you understand the code, and that's the most important.
That's
bringing
true.
it back a little bit to what you talked about earlier.
That's true.
But for new people, if you're starting now in the market, what do?
Well, I don't know.
Well, it's like a car mechanic. If you start if you look in a few years, everybody has an electric car, for let's say, right? Yeah, you can think about what, but even that's all. Would a new mechanic that's come from school or goes to school need to learn like how
A combustion.
combustion engine works?
Yeah, they need to.
But why? If everybody drives an electric car, why should they know it?
To play with old cars.
No, but
Fix
it's the
all
same
our
analogy.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
But still, the mechanics are the same. You've got wheels, you've got the diff, you've got all standardly things.
Yeah, some things are standard, but well.
Or maybe
This is-
the old mechanics will make more money because there are a few of them left.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Fortran.
Yes. So I think we are in the good
It's a good spot. Yeah.
We're going to make more money in the
Yeah,
future.
yeah.
I like that. That's
Yeah.
a great topic to close. To make more money. I like that.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Soroosh, thank you
for
very
having
much. And again, thank you for your flexibility, and I hope to talk to you again in the future.
Sure. Thank you so much, guys.
Deze podcast is een initiatief van ACC ICT en wij zijn te beluisteren op onze website k8spodcast.nl via Spotify, Apple en alle andere favoriete podcastproviders.